Hello and welcome back to the channel. Chess.com has released some new bots called the Trash Talkers, rated from 400 all the way up to 2100, and we're going to try to defeat every single one. I'm excited for the Trash Talk. Let's start with Wally Jr. We'll play f4. And for those of you that know I play the London and just jumped backwards out of your chair, don't worry, I'll still play the London against the stronger bots, but some of you have commented you want to see me play other openings. So today we're going to try a reverse Dutch against Wally Jr. over here. Wally Jr. says, my dad is like basically a super duper grandmaster. I heard that's the final boss. All right, we'll play e3. We'll see what Wally has to say or play about that. All right, bishop d7. We'll just continue with regular development. I could play d4, c3. Okay, he pushes his bishop back. I was going to say I could play d4, c3, bishop d3, and this is like the normal setup. But the issue is that right now we've been met with d6, so we don't even have the option to play knight to e5 anymore. So knight to e5 is off the board because that square is covered. So I'm going to play a little creatively. I'm going to play b3. Try to put the bishop on b2, fianchetto my bishop, and see what trouble we can get up to. Knight to h6. We'll continue our development. Maybe c4, knight to c3, maybe even d4, bishop d3. I'm going easy on you. Okay, he's definitely trash talking. It's not the strongest trash talk, and it's definitely not accompanied by the strongest moves. We'll go ahead and pick up that rook. I guess f6 could trap the bishop, but we're still up the exchange. I'm telling, oh, don't do that. All right, we'll drop the bishop back to protect it. And Wally needs to learn some opening principles because king to d7, I mean, I'm just going to throw my pawns in his face until it's checkmate. We'll see how Wally Jr. reacts to that. Hopefully he's not calling daddy on the phone to come kick my butt. But in the meantime, we'll play developing moves, try to break open the center because that's where the king is. And basically the main idea of this opening is out the window since the king is standing around in the middle of the board anyways. We'll go ahead and go for that central break. Call me Chess Master Wally or All Pro PS 046 graduate. I'm better at life than you. Life is a big statement. You dare to play that against a future super duper, what does that even say? Super duper mega grandmaster. Wow. He just keeps adding, what is that called? Whatever, to the beginning of the word. A super duper mega grandmaster. Maybe I should be scared. That's a lot. Oh, I cut him off. That was kind of funny. He was about to say something. Didn't quite get to it. We're lining the rook up with c7. That looks like a weak point. Rather, a weak point. That looks like a weak point right next to the king, so I'd love to target it. Queen to f7. We'll target that with bishop to c4. Maybe we could even play knight to d5, looking for rook takes c7. Mind your beeswax. At least he was nice about that one. We'll go ahead and, why not? We'll castle. We'll play as principled as we can. I really should be reading all of his trash talk. I feel bad he's talking his mouth away and I'm not even reading it. Queen takes e3, we'll shuffle to the side. Oh, I cut him off again. Oh, he's going to say something about taking my piece, I'm sure. All right, pawn to c6. Go ahead and, ooh, what do you say, a chew? Bless you, I think? Oh, wait, rook to e1. He's allergic to my London system. He doesn't even know that I play the London because I played this funny opening. And he's still sneezing. Queen to e7. I mean, that's free material, so I'll take it. I'm assuming he'll take with the knight. If you like that piece so much, why don't you marry it? Sick burn. Brutal, crushing, devastating burn. We're looking for this fork on b6. Just stripping him of his pieces, and then we'll checkmate him at some point. Knight b6. Go ahead and pre-move that rook capture. No fair. That's the rules, buddy. Thems are the rules. All right, knight takes a8. And I guess we should just stack pieces on this open file. Knight to d5 is unfortunately not a great move because this pawn is pinned to this free bishop. King moves over to f8, which doesn't address anything, so we'll just play... Rook is under attack, I just realized. Na, boo-boo. I'm just realizing the trash talking is low-key working because I've hung a pawn and I didn't even notice that I was down the exchange here. Or rather, I could have lost the exchange here. So maybe the trash talk is working. I'll go ahead and play... I'll play queen d1. He can take. I'm happy with simplifying. Maybe I can get my bishop into the game this way. Checkmate. That'd be great. All right, pawn takes. Go ahead and take that bishop with check. Mine, not anymore. Not sure he understands quite how this works. Bishop to c1. I'd love to cover this square on h6. I'm 8 years old. What's your excuse? That's actually a sick burn. That's actually so funny. I'm 8 years old. What's your excuse? All right, I'll sack the rook because why not? Get that queen in on e7 with check, and then maybe bishop h6 mate on the next turn. Every high-level player licks their hands and touches every piece. You don't get it. Oh, because he's a kid. He probably does that. It's funny. I beat Paul Morphy once. I did. Ask my dad. Uh-oh. Sounds like dad enables a lot of this behavior. F5, and we get checkmate. All right, one bot down. Let's move on to the next one. No, you can't win. I'm telling my dad. I sure can. All right, we're playing the Hustler, rated 950. And the Hustler plays A4. He says, hello, sit down. The first game is always free. That's really funny. Like the hustlers in New York that will pretend to be bad. It's like, hey, you want to play a game? And then they play horrible. And then they're like, all right, let's bet a little bit of money, $20. And then they wipe your board clean. That's pretty funny. Anyways, we get A4. I'll go ahead and play G6. Just my normal King's Indian. Get my king out of the way, and then I can get creative after. Since I don't expect him to play a particularly solid opening, just developing and castling as fast as possible gives me a lot of flexibility. E4 is called a free pawn. I wonder if hustlers know that too. Like they play a lot of gambit variations, intentionally try to throw you off your game. That'd be pretty funny. Anyways, knight to F6. Again, I'm still looking for normal development, and then castling. Knight to G5, throwing it in my face. I'm assuming he's looking for rook to H3, so I'll play D6 first. Just to go ahead and cover that square, and then I'll play bishop G7 next. C4, normal development. I'll go ahead and castle in a moment. We'll see what the hustler plays. He looks kind of like a school coach. I feel like he's dressed with that school jacket and then the coach hat. I don't know, I feel like they could have made him a little bit more, I'm not even sure, give him a little more hustle look. Queen to B3, a very unique way of developing the pieces. I'll go ahead and play E5. King is hanging out in the center. I have to punish that immediately. I see what you're doing. I hope you do. All right, D5 closes the center, so I guess he really did see what I was doing. Knight to G4, kick the knight with the queen. Oh no, the bishop defends the knight. All right, we'll go ahead and play knight to A6 then. Continue with normal development. Looking for knight to C5 since that pawn on D4 doesn't cover it anymore. What is this? Think you can handle this position? I sure think I can. That's a free knight. That's pretty good. On move 10, free knight. What kind of 950 is this? Queen to E3. Can I just play knight to G4? Hits this, hits that. What is he going to do about it? Nothing that I can see. Knight to G4. We're targeting all his weaknesses. King is still hanging out in the center. This does look scary. You know what? I agree with the hustler. That'd be so funny. Knight takes and then drops the queen. Watch out. Don't worry, Mr. Hustler. I am watching out. I appreciate it. You know, he's kind of a nice hustler. He's a nice, look at him. Nice work. This is the most supportive hustler I've ever seen. I told you I've got skills. You were doing good when you were being really nice and supportive. And then you said I've got skills after sacrificing a knight for nothing. So I'm not sure that I agree. Develop my pieces towards the center. I've got to get this bishop out so I can double my rooks. And then I will be in full swing in just a moment. Bishop D7. Might as well put a little pressure on this pawn. Maybe B3. I don't know. Double the rooks. Okay, rook to F1 targets this knight, but now I can double the rooks. He says, I've beaten grandmasters before. Don't believe me? I believe you. I believe you. As long as you keep betting money and I keep making money, I believe you. Whatever you say. I'll take this rook on F2. You just sacrifice the exchange for no reason. Are these intimidation tactics? Maybe. Not particularly effective. Rook back. Knight's defended by the pawn, so we're hanging tight. I'd like to mobilize my pieces a little bit because I'm up so much material. I could take, drops this pawn. Not super convincing. I'll play E4 instead. Maybe we can get a trade of pieces with knight to D3. Bishop gets a little bit of scope. Okay, he trades off the knight. Fair enough. We are up, what are we up? The exchange. No, we're up a rook, right, because he dropped a piece and then he lost the exchange, so we're up a rook. Okay, got it. Knight to A3, very strange development. I'm going to go ahead and target both of those pieces on the side of the board. Trade, because that's in my favor since I'm up material. I could have been a master, you know. Yeah, almost. I believe you. Let's see, what do we play here? What's the fastest way to finish this off? I'm ready to finish up this game. Let's play H5, look for bishop G4. Remove the defender of the back rank. D6 is not going to cut it. That's a free pawn for me. Bishop D3, I mean, wow. This hustler is way too nice to the point that it's not even really competitive. We'll play check. Yes, I see. Check. King to E3. I teach lessons if you're interested. That's funny. Mr. Hustler, I'm unfortunately not that interested. We'll go ahead and defend the pawn. Kind of a boring way to play it, but should be fine. Rook to C3. I need to trade this rook off. Or I could just play check, walk him over a little bit. Check again, pick up these pawns. Basically anything in this position is good enough to win, so. All right, rook trade, that's exactly what we wanted. Like I said, this is the nicest hustler. Like, he's so cooperative. Every time I say, hey, I really need to trade rooks, anything like that, scared of that move. Scared of this move? Is that the move you're talking about? I don't know. Not particularly afraid of it if that's what you're asking. And this rook creates a wall. There's no way for the king to come and bother the rook because of the pawn. So we'll go ahead and just push these pawns forward. Oh, did I miss the chance en passant? What a shame. Anyways, we'll keep pushing. Shouldn't have pre-moved. Keep pushing. We'll go ahead and grab that queen. Let's see if you know how to finish a game. Sometimes. I mean, if you read the title of my name, you might get the hint that sometimes I know how to finish off a game. I don't like the look of that piece. I can win in this position blindfolded. Mr. Hustler, we should play blindfolded sometime. I love playing blindfolded chess. Until I can't remember where the pieces are, then I don't really like it that much. All right, king goes back, right? And then we get mate. All right, 2 bots down, rather 2 hustlers down. I still can't get over that one of the hustlers was a little kid. Anyways, 2 trash talkers down. Let's move on to number 3. All right, we're up against the Samantha bot now, rated 1300. What a privilege it is for you to play against me. All right, that's not particularly conducive of a respectful gaming environment. We'll play the London now, bishop to f4. You guys already know what my setup is. High school valedictorian. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Class president in, not going to try that one either. Co-chair of the co-chair electorate. Co-chair of the co-chair. How many levels down is that? And future summa cum laude of life. Summa cum laude of life is incredible. And you are, I'm a grubby London player. Hello. E3. C5, we always play C3 to go ahead and buff up that center. This game should be a breeze for a high-achieving, high-IQ'd, high-strung college freshman like myself. Good luck. Thank you, I guess. With a resting heart rate of 180 beats per minute, I see moves you haven't even thought of yet. Resting heart rate of 180 beats per minute. I think you're at least hypertensive if that's what you're struggling with. We'll just continue with our development and hope that she doesn't spaz out with that incredibly high heart rate of hers. Okay, I guess we can play that knight to a3 move that I've talked about in other videos. At least pretend like you know what you're doing. I'm trying, Samantha, I promise. Where queen takes knight to b5, defends the c3 pawn retroactively with the knight, and then we're threatening knight to c7 with a fork. We'll play knight to a3, see what she responds with. Okay, she does capture. We'll go ahead and play knight to b5. This should already be better for us. Adding to my bona fides. Okay. Bona fides? How do you pronounce that? Knight to d5. I'll tell you what, she's got a nice vocabulary. Knight to d5. Oh, that does cover both. Oh, and then the issue is normally I play this against stronger players because now I can play rook to b1, rook to a1, and then just play for a draw. I'll go ahead and castle. Just get my king out of the way. If knight takes, I guess we can even trade. And I'm ahead in development, so I'm still happy with the position. Even though I've lost a pawn in the interim. We've got rook to h8. Now I just need to kick this knight so I can get that check. Question is, what's the fastest way or the best way to do that? c4 takes. I mean, it looks promising. We'll play c4 and kick the knight. You get an A for effort, but an F for execution. Whoever said winning isn't everything hasn't won anything. Jeez. She's gone through some stuff. She is like not holding back at all. Anyways, we'll take back the knight. So now there's no defender on c7. Okay, the king moves out of the way, but the rook is still trapped, so knight c7 is equally effective. She's also quite behind in development, and we'll go ahead and pick up that free rook. I'd suggest breathing through your nose rather than your mouth. You might circulate more oxygen to your brain that way. I think I'm circulating just enough as it is. I'll go ahead and take on d5 so I can give some life to this rook on the open c file. I assume she'll just recapture. It's not like there's a lot of options here. Okay, knight to d7, I'll keep capturing. I mean, if you let me, I'll capture all the way to promotion. But I assume now we'll get a recapture, and then we can play rook to c1. Go ahead and take advantage of that open file, right? This bishop is a little awkwardly placed, so I guess it has to be defended with the knight. I can remove the knight and then take the bishop. Not the best position for that bishop to be in. King to f7 is also effective. Okay, but she opts for the knight move, which unfortunately I can remove the knight, remove the guard, and then take that bishop. We'll go ahead and centralize the knight. Actually, the king moves out of the way. We take the rook. So I guess bishop d8 is forced. Once again, I've fallen victim to daydreaming about my label maker. We'll play knight to e5, looking for this check, roll a fork, pick up the free queen, and probably wrap up the game in a moment. Okay, king to e7. Unfortunately for us, she does see that. Maybe queen to g4, looking to activate on that g7 square. At this point, I'm up material. The king is in the center. Impressively unimpressive. Getting checkmated for saying that, for sure. What is it? Check here and then mate. So really just getting pieces out into the board is a victory in itself. Queen to f7, and we get mate. All right, that was bot number 3. Moving on to bot number 4. All right, we're playing with the black pieces against 1700 rated Trashbot 1999. Was I'm programmed with the internet's trendiest pre-millennium zingers. Enjoy cutting-edge 90s razzing like eat my shorts. And I know you are, but what am I, etc., etc. Okay. I'm feeling this. I like this. I'll play knight to f6. Okay. We get Nimzo Larson, which I actually played for a little while. You better have plenty of AA batteries on hand. I actually do. Needed them for my toothbrush. All right, we'll play g6 first, actually, so I can get bishop g7 without having to double my pawns in the case of bishop b2. Right, bishop g7. Play d6, castle, everything's normal, because Trashbot 1999 is the Y2 craziest chess computer of the 20th century. IBM-azing. Hey, whatever you say, little guy. We'll go ahead and castle. And I might not even play d6. I might play d5 and look for some counterplay immediately. No, I'll play d6. I'll play what I know. Maybe e5 if he doesn't play d4. And then just maybe knight c6. Okay, we do get d4, so I'll play c5 instead. Trying to hit that center with a lateral pawn. Trying to trade basically a worse pawn for a central pawn. Knight c3, we'll go ahead and trade, play knight c6. I'll decide where to put this bishop later, probably on d7, which is the standard placement of that bishop. I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever you say. Oh, so that's supposed to end in a different rhyme, but he said error catch full. Please add 5 megabytes. Somebody who knows computers better than me, tell me what that's supposed to say. To install good zinger.txt. Consider yourself zinged. I like this little guy, he's funny. And I like the use of the word zinger. I'm not sure just because this bot says it, it's going to come back in trend, but I still think it's amusing. We'll take back towards the center. Maybe we can play d5 now with some good central support. g4 is really aggressive considering he hasn't completed development and hasn't castled yet either. To the point I almost want to counterattack with h5. What's your major malfunction? My major malfunction? Probably blundering pieces. We'll play h5. Happens more often than it should. I'm still working on my tactics. Big whoop. Oh, that was passive aggressive. g5. I guess knight to h7, h4. This knight has no future. We'll play knight to e8 instead. Reroute the knight through c7. Queen to d3. Could play bishop to f5, but that walks into e4. I'll play knight to c7 right now. Maybe I can support that d5 push in a moment. Long castle is kind of overdue, so knight to d1. I could trade. That kind of weakens my dark square. So I could also play e5, and then d5 is guaranteed because of how many pieces I have supporting that square. So I'll play e5. I'll eat up the whole center if the Trashbot allows me to. Also, imagine that. Imagine getting labeled Trashbot. That's gotta hurt. All right, we'll push right through d5. Okay, queen to c2. Question is, how do we take advantage of this center that we're slowly expanding? I'll play queen to e7. Then maybe bishop e4, centralize my rooks. We should be in business after that. All right, we do get e4. I can take, centralize my bishop. If you're the Motorola, whatever that says, pager, I am the Motorola SkyTel, talk about that. We are not the same. That's got to be some ancient tech reference that I'm never going to get in my life. I'll take on e4, centralize my bishop, bring my rook to the open file. Try not to get distracted too much more by the trash talk. I can see right through you like an iMac G3. All right, queen targets the pawn, so I'll centralize the knight first. But we still have bishop to f5 on the way. I love these trash talking bots because it's actually mildly distracting. It's kind of it's a little bit of annoying. We'll play bishop to f5, kick the queen out from the center. And we're doing great here. The king is in the middle. We're developing our pieces. Queen's skedaddling out of the way. All right, is this the most effective way to take advantage of this position? Or is e4 even better? Trade the bishops. I'm still not happy about trading the bishops, so I'll go ahead and just put this rook on the open file and look for counterplay through that instead. Rook to c1. I'll double my rooks. I'll take it nice and easy. I mean, it's not like you're going to castle anymore. It's illegal, so. Knight to e3. We'll go ahead and trade. Open up that file for my rooks. Great. File for my rooks. If e4, I guess I could drop back with tempo on the queen. Cowabunga. I love his vocabulary. It's so funny. Just a little bot with funny vocabulary. Bishop to a1, which accomplishes just about nothing as far as I can tell. Bishop d3 could be good here. Hits the bishop, hits the queen, and gives me an excuse to put my rook on d3, right? So I can target e3 right where the king is. So I'll play bishop d3. I could even remove this defender and then maybe queen e6 hit this pawn. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. I'm afraid you're not sure what you're talking about. We'll take on f1, rook to d3 incoming. All right, king to f1. I'll actually play queen to e6 first, because this is check now, whereas rook to d3 just hits the queen. All right, e4, x-ray defense. Actually, that's not x-ray defense. I guess that's like a discovered defense as opposed to a discovered attack. But we'll play rook to d3 anyways, hits the queen, cuts off the defense of the pawn. It's as good as gone with queen takes h3. Queen b2 is not going to cut it. Go ahead and take with check. Does not compute. I hope you start computing, buddy, because we've got check, takes. Well, let's try that again. Check, takes, check. If king here, rook d2. And if king to e2, maybe queen d3. Anyways, all of that should be winning. So we'll go ahead and play it out. Take. King to e2 saves the queen, but now we come in with the queen with check. And then check with the rook, picks up the queen now. Oh, I wish we could get mate here. Do we have mate here in a sec? Let me see. Check here. Oh, we do have mate. Okay, we don't have to pick up the queen, it's mate. So we'll play check. And mate. All right, nice. I think that was the second to last bot. A good game, not. Ooh, somebody's angry. We have one more bot left to go, and I think it's the Masterbot. Let's go ahead and play him. All right, we're playing against the Masterbot now, rated 2100. We'll start with a d4. Hello, care to play a game? Oh, he's a lot nicer. He's probably not going to be as funny as the little kid, but he is nicer. They call me the Master. I'll call you that too, Master. We'll play bishop to f4. Actually, that's kind of weird. e6, we'll continue with normal development. We're just going to play a solid London, and then hopefully we can steamroll him. Queen to e7, looking for queen to b4, check, picks up the b2 pawn, so we'll play c3. Get ready to see what old-fashioned elbow grease looks like. A hard worker here, okay. Knight to c6, we'll play knight to f3, keeping control over that e5 square. Queen to e7 kind of impedes this bishop from developing. I once played Boris Spassky in a game like this in 1970. Oh, guy's been around. We'll play bishop d3, continue with development. h6, okay, knight d2. Maybe we could even play knight e5, queen f3, like a proper London. h3, g4. Okay, he beats us to the punch with g5. We'll drop the bishop back. Did you just say, want a piece of candy? That was kind of creepy. Rook to g8. And I'm not thinking that I want to castle kingside anymore. So I'm going to play a3. I'm setting up c4 and stopping knight to b4 after c4. Okay, g4, we'll drop that knight on e5, where it was meant to be. Okay, a6. Does that mean I can just weaken his pawn structure? I had a position like this against McCall in 1980. This guy's played everybody, huh? At least he says he has. A little bit suspicious if you ask me. We'll take on c6, try to ruin his pawn structure a bit. I think I know this opening a little better than you. Do you? I'm not sure I'm seeing many symptoms of you knowing it better. We can take that. You can take that. Okay, do we play e4 for the central break? Do we play queen a4 and target a pawn? Do we play c4, try to take this way, maybe rook to c1, hitting these pawns? I think that makes the most sense. Since these are the pawns that are weak, I want to go for c4 so I can line this rook up on c1 and target these pawns. So I'll play c4. Okay, we get rook to b8, targeting the b2 pawn, but I can push b4, grabbing some even extra space. All right, a5 hits the b4 pawn. I think I might just sacrifice this pawn. Play c5. Takes. Rook to a8 hits the bishop on c8. Pretty hard to defend, I think. So I'll play that, c5. Close up the queen side, look for that advantage. We'll take on b4. All right, the master takes on b4. Rook to a8 looks so strong now. Pinning that bishop, can't defend it with the rook. Queen to d8, bishop a6. Oh, okay, that has to be crushing. We'll play rook to a8. He's a little bit pawn hungry, this master. He's up one pawn, he gets excited. What on earth? But don't worry about this. This is just a little something. I beat Garry Kasparov. The audacity this guy has. He just, in 2000, was Garry Kasparov world champ in 2000? Or was that earlier? I can't remember. Bishop to a6. We'll go ahead and play for that advantage. Okay, bishop takes. We'll take the queen. Okay, we've got a queen for a rook and a bishop. But we're also ahead in development. Maybe queen to a1 now. Target this bishop. I would like to castle at some point. He's probably going to try to stop me from doing that. What is rook? Okay. Okay, somebody get this guy some water, something, because he's not doing too hot. I'm assuming the idea is takes rook c1, but I'm just going to take on c4. So, not sure if the payoff on that was all that amazing. To be fair, the bishop is still on c4, and even king d2 is kind of uncomfortable to try to get the rook out because of knight to e4. So maybe we should play check. King here, queen b7. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll play check. It's only a check. Check is the first step to checkmate, my friend. Queen to b7. I guess knight to e8 is forced now. And then maybe I can play king to d2 since knight to e4 isn't a concern anymore. Looks tough. Some positions are like that. I remember beating Napoleon Bonaparte in a very similar game in 1860. All right, Grandpa, whatever you say. We'll play king to d2, try to get that rook out. I could even play h3, actually. H3, looking for this capture. But I don't see how I'd put pressure on this if this pawn is pinned after bishop f4, right? Because this rook can take. Okay, I'll play rook to b1. Maybe even look for this sacrifice. Maybe rook to a1, rook to a7 made more sense. But this should still be winning. We'll go ahead and sack the rook. He couldn't take back because of c6. What a smart feller. Not a fart smeller, but a smart feller. All right, bishop d6 will take. And this is completely winning. Knight takes. We'll trade the bishop. I'm assuming he'll take on b. Not even. King takes. He's going to play this out to the very end. Rook b2. And this should be pretty straightforward. Target the c6 pawn. Yeah, we're not letting you promote Grandpa, unfortunately. I know his name is the Master, but it's so much more fun to call him Grandpa. We'll take with check. See if we can draw the king out. That'd be great. All right, king goes back. Like I said, he's a smart feller. He's a smart feller. We'll play check. Then maybe bring the rook to a7. Kind of a slow way of playing this, but should be winning. We'll play check with the queen. If he takes, we can get the rook in even more directly. Check. Drop the king back. It's forced. Right? Queen to b7. Put some pressure on c7. All right, rook to c8 is the only way to defend that. I once won a game against Bobby Fischer when he was 7. Yeah, was that after you met George Washington? This guy, probably, he's a dreamer, I guess. We'll play check with the queen. King to e7, we'll reroute the rook to b7. Just kind of finessing the position a little bit until we're actually objectively winning. King to d8 is kind of forced. Whoa, he doesn't play king to d8. f5 is not going to cut it. Check. We'll pre-move that recapture. King anywhere. We're just going to munch up his pawns. Okay, I'm going to speed through this so you guys don't have to watch me just take his pawns and promote. And I'll see you in just a moment. All right, true to myself, I do get a ladders mate, and we defeated every singular trash talk bot. Wow, what a game. You're a very good player. Okay, I feel bad now for calling him Grandpa. The Master's actually really nice. Unlike the little kid, ahem. For this video, I did put the eval bar on the side. I hope you take my word that I wasn't actually looking at it and I was just playing whatever I thought was objectively the best move. Because it's a lot easier for me to just play with the eval bar on than it is to add it in post like I've done for the last video. Let me know what you guys think of the video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Leave down below if you have any other video ideas, and I will see you guys in the next one.